Today on Off the Hinges, relax, pour yourself a drink, and unwind from your week as I answer your questions and share stories about this week's trade. I'm joined by a special guest, and I have my whiskey in hand. I'm so glad you made it. Are you ready? Let's slide into the vault. All right, welcome back inside the vault, Off the Hinges. I am thrilled that you get to meet. This man used to be my work wife. We met a long time ago. I don't even know. I think it was like 2010, so maybe like 15 years ago when we were both staff sergeants in the Marine Corps now. He's now a retired first sergeant of Marines. He has always had way better hair than me. You might see a trend. Everybody that comes on has better hair than me, but this guy's always had better hair. Like
for now.
For now. I'm just so excited for you to experience this guy. This is just so fun to sit down and chop it up with a brother. I love his family. I love everything about him. And we're talking about accountability. And I love the fact that there might be an essence or a sense of what that word means to you, what it means to us, but the application, the practical application coming from my buddy who's about to introduce himself briefly, not only as a prior staff non-commissioned officer in the Marine Corps, but as a husband, as a father, as a friend, as a good man, as someone I trust, but definitely as a man that was a prior senior enlisted advisor who accountability is so bred and woven into who you are, who you were as, an actively serving Marine. Man, there's just so much to unpack with you. So I'm going to take a sip. I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Say howdy to the peeps. Tell them what's up.
So I'm CJ. I've known Josh for, 15 years. It's crazy, dude. We were little baby staff sergeants together.
Little baby staff sergeants.
And I don't know why, like that 15 years feels so long ago right now.
Because it wasn't 2 seconds ago. It's not.
Seriously.
It's not chump change, man.
I know, right? Known Josh for 15 years. I was a Marine. Like you said, I was staff sergeant with him. I ended up moving on through the ranks, became a first sergeant, retired. 5 or 6 years ago now. It's been a while. And now I'm a high school teacher teaching junior ROTC in San Diego's biggest high school.
That's so wild. What is San Diego's biggest high school? Where are you at?
Patrick Henry High School.
Man. Yeah. How many kiddos are there?
Oh gosh, we have I feel like it's around 2,700 kids right now. The best part though is it's a mile
so many
from my house. Like I've never not had a commute before. Like this is so rad.
Yeah,
I get to walk Eloise to school before. Like it's just it's kind of the best gig ever.
Yeah, taking kids to school and spending morning time is when I can do that here in Norway too. Whatever the rhythm and cadence is of how our mornings are going. Breakfast with the kiddos, getting a cup of coffee while they're, slobbering yogurt all over their face or whatever. Those morning moments are just so precious, man. And we've missed enough of them in our career that it's just,
I mean, being a Marine is not typically conducive to that. Like, you're up way before the sunrise. Like, I just remember 3:30 wake ups to drive in to go PT and then work all day and then come home after dinner sometimes. And so cherishing these times right now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So we're going to dive right in. We always have the staple questions up front, and then we're going to get into your story. One question that was sent in, some other ones that we framed up. This is going to be good. You guys are in for a treat. I'm so excited for all of us. Mainly me, just because I love time with this guy. So there you go. But what are you thankful for this week?
All right. Can it be more than one thing?
It can be whatever it's your thanks, man. You unload it.
All right. I love it.
Go for it.
I'm super thankful, and I was actually just talking about this with BB, who you also know.
BB, I love you. You're so cool.
One of my other besties who's actually a co-teacher with me. I'm thankful that I have had this opportunity to have this job that allows me to be with my family. I have so much more family time, which I missed a ton of with Becca and Caleb. I missed a lot of their years with training and workups and deployments and all of that. And to be home with Eloise now, I'm getting to watch her grow up, is really, really rad. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm thankful for the time I get to spend with Lauren also. Every night, sit down and have dinner with her and then have coffee in the morning. That's so rad.
Lauren's the coolest.
She is the coolest. And she's still putting up with me, dude. I love that.
You're easy to put up with. Don't cut yourself short, but she's pretty awesome too.
I appreciate that. I'm thankful for the job I have, which is pretty rad. I I get to do all the best things from the Marine Corps, the leadership, the mentorship.
Mm.
I just think about when I first retired, one thing I missed was mentoring Marines. I missed like sitting down and talking to them and like kind of getting the pulse of what's going on and figuring out what can I do to make their lives better. And I get
Mhm.
to do that now with high school kids, which is surprisingly not that different than PFCs and Lance Corporals, as you know.
Right.
So I guess I'm pretty well equipped for it. So
You've done it a
that's
few
something I'm
times.
thankful for. And then I'm thankful for friends like you, BB, like people that I've known for years and years in the Marine Corps who it's hard to replicate this bond, like the brotherhood, the sisterhood that we have with each
Yeah.
other.
I'm gonna
And
I'm gonna inject and say it's not that it's hard to replicate it. I believe it cannot be replicated. I actually
that's even better. I love that.
I actually think like the bond that Marines have that have served together, it can't be replicated anywhere, man. I've come to believe that wholeheartedly for all
Yeah.
the good, bads, and difference.
I,
It is
yeah. And I think that's
untouchable.
fair. Yeah. And that's not to say that I don't have great friends. I've got great
Right.
friends, but it's just, it's just not the same. I think that that shared suffering, um, there's like, you can't, you can't, it doesn't exist outside of what we did.
Yeah.
So
CJ and
I
I
think those
aren't
are
going to
things.
go like all psychology on you. Like we're not going to go into trauma bonding, but maybe that's a part of it. Who knows? Whatever.
I mean, like we both have psych degrees. It's going to get dangerous.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
But
those
we're
are
we're
things I'm
we're
just
too weird.
Yeah, I'm just thankful for those things. It's people. I'm really thankful for that. And I think
Yeah.
that when you experience the things that we've experienced and you experience the loss and like there are people who can't be here with us now, like I think that has like increased so much my appreciation for the people I love.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thankful for.
Man, that's so good. I'm going to chime in and give a what I'm thankful for because I just came back from a really cool conference in this place called Hamar, which is about an hour north of Oslo, and I met some fascinating people there. And yes, I'm very thankful for my wife and my girls. And every time I come back, it's just really precious because the FaceTiming with them, even if it was only a few day conference, I just missed them. But I'm so thankful for people, and this platform here has really shifted a perspective. Um, because I'll be honest, I'm sitting here looking at okay, who are some really fascinating people that maybe I could come across, engage with, hear some of their story. Maybe they would be good people to bring onto the show to keep diving into more virtues next year. So like I've been building out next year's Rolodex of guests for different virtues, and I'm already booked all the way out through June. And
That's so rad.
as I'm at this conference, I realized nothing about the people around me probably has changed. My focus and desire to not just ask about people's stories, but really hear them to see how they might fit and synchronize with where I'm at in life and my purpose. So trying to find this deeper alignment in a hope of being able to share it with other people for the general good and growth and development, that has given me such a different posture. And I don't think it was a bad posture. I've always loved people, but that has given me such a different posture in how I engage with others and really press in and listen. And I heard
Hmm.
just some fantastically rad stories. Met some people who will probably join me next year. We're going to get into sort of like some follow up conversations and chats and see what's up. But man, I walked away from that just really thankful for people. And when you said that, I was like, I've got to second that. I've
Yeah,
got to echo that.
I love it, dude.
It's the proverbial first sergeant or sergeant major that's like, ooh, I got a caveat on what this other leader just said. Let me say the same thing. So sorry, Marines. I know I just made you vomit in your mouth a little bit, but I'm gonna do it because you're spot on, man. Like I'm so grateful for people and connections that matter, even if they're new, because that's the beauty of it. When you come into a space and you're humble and you want to learn of people, man, life just gets so much richer when you really want to connect. And it's just really
It
cool.
does, dude. And it's so easy to get lost in the noise and
Mm.
not realize that. And it took me a long time, honestly, to realize that.
Yeah. And it's like turn off the phones, turn off the social media or the media. turn off the polar extremes that are trying to just throw such a chasm between you in your society, in your culture, in your politics, whatever you're engaged in. Just really press into people, and you're going to go like, not everybody is as crazy as they're trying to say, or maybe we all
Yeah,
are.
dude,
Who
we
knows? I
all
don't know,
just
but I
like,
think it's either way. It's still fantastic. So
dude, you
anyway,
know my mantra, just be a good dude. Let's all
just
just be
be a good.
humans together, right?
That's sort of what
It's
we are.
a
Let's just
crazy
do it.
concept.
People be people, and though, man, I tell you what.
Yeah, they people hard.
They've yeah, absolutely. Rock on. Keep on peopling. What have you been learning lately?
Oh man. This one is we talked a little the other day. I'm learning to be a beginner again.
Mm,
And let me give you context for that. So,
thanks.
um, as a first sergeant, like everyone comes to you for everything.
Mm.
Like the phrase first sergeant, we got a problem is like burned deep into my brain forever, right? And like I got it. Come in, close the door, right? That one's over. Next one, hey, first sergeant, I got a problem. Come
I'm
on.
just gonna start sending you
So
voice notes that say just that. By the way, just to
yeah,
give you
thanks.
like
Yeah,
trigger PTSD. You're welcome.
yeah, I like it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
And so going from a position where you're relied on by the Marines, right, on everything, and then also by my command partner, right, like the CO, like like you're troubleshooting everything together. You're trying to figure everything out. You're trying to make the mission, but also take care of the Marines, all that. And I felt like I was so good at that, and I loved it, right? And
Hmm.
that's something I do miss. But now I'm learning that I don't know everything, right? I'm a high school teacher. I've done it for a few years now, but um, it's just everything is so different. And I'm about to go back to school and get my Ed D in organizational leadership, right? Like I'm a
Nerd
beginner
alert.
again.
Man, I'm so proud of you, by the
I
way.
know, nerding so hard. I got to catch up with you, dude.
No, that's
Um,
fun.
and so I'm learning about that. And I'm learning about these teenagers who have grown up in this completely different world, this
Mhm.
connected world, right? Where everything is at their fingertips all day long and they can never shut it off. And I think what I'm learning is that, like, my beginner thing is that I don't have to put out every fire right this second because there's not 1,000 more. It's okay for me to sit back because those kids deserve me to take a breath and like give them some good sage advice on their life when I don't really always understand their life because it's so different
Mhm.
than when we were kids, right? And so
Right.
that's kind of how I'm learning to be a beginner now. And I'm realizing like I don't know everything, but I don't have to. I
Mhm.
just have to care. And
Man,
that's kind of where I'm at.
yeah, that's so good. And for you kids, young people, not to talk down or chide you at all, because I really value people at every life stage, even my little girls, that people are so much more intelligent, especially as children, than maybe grown people give you credit for. I hope you hear what your teacher or your dad, if it's one of your kids listening, just, if it's one of your kids, they know you. But I hope you heard what he just said, because the ability to model that as a leader, and basically what CJ's saying is the way I would view it and coin it is like, he appreciates that things for you in your life are caught before they're taught. So while he could give you an answer, he wants your answer to be unearthed for you. And that is so much of what he does in your life for you, is not immediately solve problems because he's a thought partner with you. It's much of like what coaching is for me. Like, I'm not here to give
Yeah.
the answers. I'm here to listen, to really press in, and to just walk alongside people in life. And I hope you appreciate what he's doing for you. And I hope you really appreciate who you have doing it for you, because you can't get a better man than that. And that's just such a model, man. Like, young people are going to catch it before they even know what it is, but they're going to look back and man, I want to replicate that posture that my teacher CJ had for me. And that's such a gift that you can share with them, man.
The cool thing is, though, is that despite growing up in this like constant connection and all of that, they are just like, I think they're just better humans than we were. They're so much more accepting of each other and like
100% better human than
differences.
I
And
was,
like,
no doubt.
it's just like so rad to see how they just like and like I get that there are kids who aren't perfect and all that, but like the majority of them are just rad, accepting, loving humans, and that's just a fun thing to see.
Yeah, that's amazing. Good job, kids. Nice.
Yeah,
So,
they're crushing.
yeah, well, they got you at the helm, so that makes it easy. How do you hope to grow and transform when you find time for your rest and reflection? What's your focus for growth?
Oh man. So as you know, as a Marine, you get to rest when everything is done. Like you get broke off and then you can find time to rest, maybe, as you're aware, because I know you didn't get a ton of
We'll
sleep
rest
tonight.
when we're dead, is what we say. But hopefully, you're getting.
Basically, right? We'll say we're dead, right?
Let's say when you get
And
cat naps, maybe cat naps, not full rest. Let's go for that.
like tuck your chin into your flak jacket and get like 4 minutes. That's all you got to do.
That's
Um,
it. Oh
and
my
I
god.
think for me, um, rest is becoming a discipline for me. I need to. Like,
Mm.
I hate to admit that I'm getting older. And I just know that I am more present when I take care of myself. And one of my life goals now is to be more present, like for my wife, for my kids, for the students, for my
Mm.
friends. And sometimes it's like putting that screen down and closing my eyes and not like trauma scrolling through the news and like taking time for myself to be a better person. And so for me, that's kind of like where I'm reflecting and um, I guess less adrenaline, more wisdom. How's that?
Yeah, I don't believe that you're
That's
dialing
my,
back adrenaline. I don't believe you at all.
I
Uh,
have to, dude.
I
Um,
I know.
yeah, I
I,
got
I
to.
believe you're seeking wisdom, but I don't associate less adrenaline with you ever. Is my point. Get
It's
out of
I
here.
just got it's funny, yeah, as we're saying that, I saw my hip surgeon this morning for my final clearance after my other hip surgery. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, dude, you're good. Like, I was like, can I do triathlons? It was like my first question. So like maybe I'm not quite not seeking the adrenaline. Good call out on that. I
I was
appreciate that.
I was just about to mention just your insane obsession with triathlons and training and physical fitness, which is a great thing. Keeps you looking younger than we are, which is good. But yes,
I love to break myself off, dude.
I know. I know you do. That's a good thing.
It's a good
Um,
feeling.
so everyone can pop open Google and search accountability or come with their own anchoring bias and opinions of what accountability is. But for you, how do you define or frame this virtue of accountability? Because I really think it's important before we jump into maybe some deeper questions about this virtue today. It's always important to hear the lens through which someone is filtering something or viewing something because it gives context for the entire episode and
Sure.
conversation. So, like
Yeah, yeah.
accountability to CJ, how do you frame that up for people?
For me, it's grown over time, right? Like there's the Marine Corps accountability, right? Like, um,
What does
but
that
over
look
time,
like?
Marine Corps accountability, I
Yeah.
think it's like, do what you're gonna do no matter what, even if no one's watching. That's
Hmm.
accountability, right? Like if you say you're gonna do it, you gotta do it, right?
So, like
Lead
an
by
integrity of
example.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that over time, accountability is ownership, but love also. And
Mm.
so,
I am
uh,
so glad you threw that word in there. Man, we're
yeah,
putting a pin in that one for whenever you want to
yeah.
look back. Keep going.
So I think it's not just doing what you say you're gonna do, it's aligning your actions with your values,
Mm.
right? So I think that, and I'll even go deeper than that. I'll say that it's aligning your actions with your values, but also inviting others in. So it's not just, hey, I'm holding you accountable. It's, hey, let's be accountable together. Like, I don't, what's that? Like, I care about you. I want you to care about me, and I want us to make each other better.
I do
That's
care about you.
accountability.
If that's what you want
I care
done.
about you, buddy. And yeah, and so like, I get to do that with BB at work, right? Like,
Mm.
we're always coming up with new ways to do stuff, and I'm not perfect. I mess stuff up, and I need her there to be like, hey, dude, like, take a step back. Like, maybe there's a better way,
Right.
right? Like, and I love that. Like some people can't handle that. I love the cheesy steel sharpens steel. Like like I dig all of that, and I think that when you care, when you align your values with who you are, accountability is easy.
Mhm.
I think that accountability, the word maybe, can be a cop out sometimes for bad leadership.
Yes,
I think it's just like, does that make sense?
it does. And yeah, just what I hear in that. And I just got to really, it is maybe to some people a cliche, cheesy thing with the steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron. But
Yeah.
I got this visual as well because I love how you said it's in alignment of what you're doing and your actions with your vision and your values and your purpose.
Yeah.
And it is all done in love and it is done relationally because you definitely can be accountable to yourself. But I think even there it's an accountability to something, someone, the way I'm hearing it. So I'm just sort of spewing it back through the Josh interpretation. So rudder steer me if I'm off course on it. But what I love about that visual of having two objects that can sharpen each other is if I have something I'm trying to sharpen a blade with and it's not aligned the right way, I might go from like sharpening it to blunting it, chipping it, fracturing it.
Yeah.
So when you have people who aren't aligned, or even if they aren't personally pursuing the same thing, if they don't understand how to align to you because you haven't let them in close enough relationally to even know your values and your purpose, then the accountability effort becomes blunt force trauma and not a sharpening endeavor. So I think good
100%.
intentions can be misaligned and actually be more harmful than what they're purposed for. And that's all
Yeah,
relational, man. It's all relational.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
And I think
beautiful.
sometimes with people who like, I just think of some, like I've had I've been very lucky and I've worked with amazing leaders in the Marine Corps, but you always there's bad apples everywhere, right? In the Marine Corps and
Mhm.
so everywhere. And I like some of these, like when you're talking about like some of these people sometimes can just be like a blade that's just rubbing flat against a rock. And like they're
Ugh.
not self accountable, but they want to hold other people accountable. And to me, like that just like tears at the fabric of who we are and like
Right.
what
And a
we
blade can't
represent.
sharpen itself. Like there's so much
No, and
we
that's
could just
like,
we're just
yeah,
going weird on y'all, but like come on, like how's a sword sharpening itself? It needs a blacksmith, it needs a grinding stone, it needs something external to hone in on it and align to it. And that's not something it can do for itself. And people
yeah. And
are
so I
the
guess
same.
for me, like you have to align with your values and you need other people.
Yes.
Accountability can't be just you.
No.
Like you've got to have accountability is a relationship.
Mm.
And I think that's important for people to understand.
Accountability is a relationship. Whew. I want to J HUD pull a shoe off and just say preach and throw shoes at you and stuff, man. Come on. All right. Uh, Probably one of my most favorite. Well, not probably. Let me rewind that reel back a little bit. 100% my most favorite question to ask anyone, but it even gets more exciting when I know the people well like you. So, what is your story?
Mm. Oh gosh. This is a hard one I feel like to answer because there's so many ways to go about it. I grew up
Take
in
it
a
any
pretty
way you
small
need
town.
to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I grew up in a pretty small town in Massachusetts, or under 100 people in my graduating class.
So you're a masshole. Yes.
I am a masshole, yeah. Small town Massachusetts, big Pats Sox fan. Although I kind of sold out a little bit. I'm a Padres fan since we've been
You
in San Diego so
you've
long.
definitely been transplanted, so it's acceptable. Yeah.
I have. So I grew up in small town Massachusetts. Joined the Marine Corps a year after high school. I took a year off. Went overseas, did my time in the Marine Corps all over the place. I've got 3 kids. I've got an awesome wife. I've had some trials and tribulations, as you know. Um, I'm just trying to be a better version of me every single day. And sometimes that's hard, Like, I just look back at all the things I did right, all the things I did wrong, and I'm just trying to be a good example.
Hmm.
That's kind of like my story at this point. I know I could go like so deep into a bunch of different things. I think for me though, I was talking to my son Caleb, who we'll get into a little bit later.
Oh, Caleb, I love you, buddy. Man, it's been a while.
And it's I kind of feel like sometimes I almost picked resilience when we were talking about like what we could talk about because like I just had my sixth surgery this summer,
Mhm.
and like sometimes I feel like I'm held together by like super glue and duct tape, and I still want to show up every day and give 100%.
Mhm.
And that's not just like the Marine way, like as a husband, as a dad, like as a teacher, I still want to lead by example.
Mhm.
And so maybe like my story might be that it's okay to suffer a little and push through for other people. And
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at right now.
man, I would absolutely agree with you, but I'd say knowing you, it's not even okay. It is 100% mandatory. If we're looking at this through the framework of its relational accountability as a relationship, you have to suffer through for people. You have to. If it
I
matters
almost
to you.
think the accountability helps with the resilience and vice versa, right? They kind of feed
Mhm.
into each other.
Yeah.
I don't think I could be resilient without the accountability.
Yeah. And it's interesting when you listening to you and you said, well, and it's not just a Marine Corps thing, it's this and this. It's easy to look at the occupation of, okay, CJ was a really accomplished Marine. He was a first sergeant, like all of this deployments and experience in the Marine Corps, which was fantastic. But I don't think of you that way first, even though that's the first way I met you was through the Marine Corps. Like when I think of you, I think of you as a husband and a father and a friend in that order. I do. Because I see the family and I see the focus and I see the love, and that makes you so much better of a leader because I think the prioritization of the accountability as a relationship, and you go like, ooh, which relationships am I the most accountable and should I be? And that you can have the right heart and the wrong trajectory, and you're going to hit what you aim at every time, man. So when you aim at family and that becomes the focus of your efforts, it just makes you a better leader. I really
And
believe that. And I've seen that in you, man.
you said something too that I think gets lost on people. You said accountable to and not accountable for. And I think that's important because I think a
Yes.
lot of times people say you're accountable for this, you're accountable for this. But I would argue more importantly, you're accountable to your wife, to your kids, to your Marines, now to my students. I think
Mhm.
accountability is not just like this, like I'm trying to think of the word for it, but I just feel like it's so much deeper than that. And so
It
I
is.
appreciate
And
that you brought up accountability to versus for.
yeah, and I agree with you. I think what I've seen is people, and it sounds like a very simple word, but some of the times, and most of the times, the simplest of concepts that's not framed correctly gives us the absolute wrong application of something that we're trying to grow in. So if it's accountability that we're really trying to understand and unpack and deep dive into, um, if I'm accountable to something or for something, I feel like I am accountable for my actions. I'm not accountable to them. Like I'm accountable to relationships.
Yep.
So relationally, I'm accountable to everything that's either been put in my charge or relationships I'm meant to grow. And there is, even recently for me, man, there's always things that pained me where I'm like, oh, man, I wasn't as accountable to that as I should have been. I made a mistake. I caused hurt. I caused damage. So resilience personally to
Hmm.
continue going, the there's so many virtues that revolve around this accountability of forgiveness for yourself and asking forgiveness of others and the humility to enter that space. So it just is almost endless when you actually are accountable to other people and to those relationships for your chosen actions and
Yeah.
words and behaviors. Like that's what you're accountable for is everything you do,
Yeah.
everything you express. Like we just talked about emotional expression, and that is basically the outpouring of your life. For that, you are accountable. To whom? Everybody that you bring into your orbit, man. Everybody.
Yeah,
You're accountable to
it's
the
true.
whole thing that you leave a thumbprint on. It's all of you. I really
All
believe
day,
that.
every day, dude. All
So
day,
that
every
2 and
day.
4, we flip them, and we're accountable to our actions. We're accountable for these people. If I feel like I'm accountable for you, I'm like taking. I almost feel like when I even say that, it's like I'm taking this posture above you. I'm accountable for you. I am the man.
Right.
No, you ain't. Come on.
No,
Oh
it's
man,
true. But I think that gets lost on people.
it does.
And I think it's cool when I heard you say that. That stands out to me because it is a four.
Well,
It's
you're pretty
both,
cool.
but like the four is lost.
Every time I talk to you, I always think this is totally off the vein of accountability, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. Every time I see him, like, man, I can't wait until you and me and Brandon get together again. Because
Oh
good,
gosh.
Brandon. Maybe one day we'll just do a Josh, CJ, Brandon episode. I
We're
don't
just
know.
gonna are we gonna triple pod? Like
That would
I'm
be.
down.
We could call in Johnny Epps and just do a 4-way pod. Like, so for
Gosh,
everyone that's listening,
I don't know if you'd be able to publish that.
but I would. I do a lot of things I probably should. 100%. So this is so cool. I'm going to give it real quick before we keep going. Maybe I'll throw the picture up on YouTube. So if you're just listening on a pod, go look over and you can see CJ's beautiful hair and beautiful smile, because you need to see that. You need that in your life. Just watch it on YouTube, and then you can listen to it later just to, inculcate yourself in CJ's beautiful voice. But so when I got promoted to captain, there were only, aside from Laura, and I'll put the picture up, there was Laura, and Aria was really little. She was the only child we had at the time. She was strapped on a front side baby carrier, and we hiked up.
Baby carrier.
We did. We hiked up the little mountainside back in Camp Pendleton, up by the crosses in Camp Horno. And John Epps was my buddy, who at the time was a captain. He's a lieutenant colonel now. He's commanding 2nd Recon Battalion. John just always crushes life. And then Brandon had recently gotten out of the Marine Corps. I just love Brandon. You guys have social intelligence. So it was an episode I did with him, and he's amazing. Such
He's
a
the
good brother.
best, dude.
And then it was one of the most meaningful promotions I've ever had in my life, because it was a promotion where I had a child with me, and whether she was old enough to remember or not, it's something that she was physically there on the front side of me, strapped to me while we did promotion. CJ is the senior enlisted, is the first sergeant, read the promotion warrant. John was, a captain, and I was getting promoted to captain. So at the time he was a senior officer, right? So he was able to promote me. So I had like my fam was there for my promotion.
It was such a rad promotion, dude.
And I'll put that picture up. There's a picture of, if you look at it, John's on the far left, and then me with Aria, and then Brandon, and then CJ. And for the huge, of course, because he was out, but Brandon's the only one not in a uniform. So that's Brandon for you.
For the huge.
Always out of regs, always out of uniform. I'm just kidding. I love you, man. He's actually one of the more squared away guys I've ever met. But yeah, I just think of that because it's like accountable to. Who are these people that, when I think of CJ and these relationships in this orbit of brothers who just like, it doesn't matter where we go or how long we go without connections, we're never disconnected, because it's just, it's who we are, man. And I love that. I feel like God has put those people in my life where they will always be so deeply ingrained in my heart and in my soul and in everything I do. And it's just, man, it's priceless. Anyway, I'll stop because I could keep going, and this isn't about me, but when I see your face, I can't help it. I just get so excited because I just love you, man.
Dude, that was such a rad day.
It was amazing. And thank you for doing that. It was such an honor to have that memory with you for my kids and for me. And
Dude, it was an honor to be invited and be a part of. It was definitely the most intimate promotion I'd ever been at. And like,
don't get weird with the guys. We didn't go weird. Don't,
hiking up a mountain, like taking turns carrying Aria. Like, it was just rad.
It's so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a cool day.
Such a cool thing. So you already talked about how you went, oh, maybe I could look into resilience, but out of all the virtues that you could have chosen to sit with today, why this one? Like, why is accountability the message that you feel compelled to marry your voice to right now?
All right. So funny, when you were texting me about getting on here, I was actually at Disneyland with Eloise. It's like me and her little spot. You know, we
Yeah,
go. I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram. We go a lot, and
that's cool.
we're like at a little toon town, and there's like this little park there she likes to play at, and it's kind of like my respite in the day to like sit down and like take a Disney break. And you just like
I'm not gonna let my girls hear that you take your daughter to Disney a lot. By the way, that's you're never hearing that.
when when
'Cause
you
I'm gonna be
when they
shamed
get
in
back,
not taking them a lot.
they can come with Uncle CJ.
There you go.
So I just sat down, and then you texted me like perfectly right then, and
You're
um,
welcome.
we had a brief conversation about it, and you sent me the list, and I was I was already teaching at that point, and accountability just like stuck out to me, and it was the accountable to, right? And I
Mhm.
was like, I'm here doing this really rad thing with my daughter, and she's having the best time of her life. And um, I have this really rad job where I'm teaching these kids this cool stuff, and I still miss the Marine Corps every day. And for me, um, accountability is a part of everything I do now, right? And it was everything I did then, but in a different way. Like I said, accountability has grown
Mhm.
for me. And so it just felt like this is a virtue that I'm trying to uphold every single day of my life now.
Mhm.
And I was just like looked out at Eloise, and I'm like, am I like being accountable to her? Like, am I being a good dad? Right. And so I was just like, I got to do this. Like, and then my skills from the Marine Corps transferring like to high school NJROTC. Like, am I actually being accountable to the cadets? Like, am I
Mhm.
leading by example? Am I teaching them things they need to know? Am I helping them become better citizens? Am I helping them get into college? Like, is this stuff that I'm doing? And if I'm not saying these are things I am doing, this is like, I'm saying like, am I doing this? Like,
Mhm.
I'm trying to be self accountable. And I was like, I got to talk accountability. And then as soon as I said accountability, I was like, oh crap, what am I going to talk about? Like, it was just like one of those things that like
I
felt right.
love
And
it.
then I was
What
like,
is
oh
it?
no,
I don't
no,
know.
I already shot that round down range. Yeah. That's kind of how I got to it, dude. I just think it's so important in my home life and my work life and my
Mhm.
friend life and all of that. That's kind of how I got there.
Yeah, I have things that very starkly resonate in my mind about accountability, and I will give it a pregnant pause, and I will listen to this entire episode, and if it doesn't come up at the end, y'all can stay tuned because I'm going to share some things that I've seen on a personal level, in a meaningful level, not being funny at all, that I have seen CJ do to implement this mindset and this lifestyle into his family life, which is so maybe we'll crack open the front door into CJ's home and take a walk inside with you at the end of this if he doesn't go there first. Because there's some certain things that just stick out that I learned from you that I do today as a father that I watched you do, because that's the beauty, man. Like when you have this relational aspect to it and you care about the people you're accountable to, you were always on the hunt for new ways to bring that to life, to model that. And
Mm-hmm.
you were a step ahead with the child raising thing. And I learned so much from you with young kids. I did. And so I'm going there if you don't. But anyway, we're going to keep pressing.
All right.
But yeah, just so you've been warned. But I'm not going to embarrass you because you can't be embarrassed. You're great.
No, it's true. I can't.
I know you can't. You just don't care
Dude,
anyway.
I have to be honest. Like, I
You
was
just don't.
nervous to come on here. Like, I want to represent you well. Like,
Oh, come on. Get out of here.
I
It's fun.
can't
It's
be
funny.
embarrassed.
No, 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 no. And well, I'll be honest. This is a good thing for people to hear too. Like in these episodes, it's just there's nothing polished about what we do. And I posted that the other day when
Mm-hmm.
I just the other day I posted a picture of my Alpha jacket, and I said I
Yeah.
showed up for my ruck, and it was the 250th birthday, man. And I did not. And this is fine. I didn't expect it, but I did a ruck, and then I finished 30 minutes at like 11:30 Zulu, because like Zulu time's what we deal with. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
when the clock turns midnight Zulu time, Marine Corps time, that's going to be the 250th, and I want to go live. So I did my first YouTube live, Power of Framing, to frame accountability. And I said it wasn't polished. I was just present, and that is
Yeah.
accountability. I'm not waiting to be perfect to show up and be accountable to you and be accountable for my actions. I just have to do it because it's whether I like it or not, I am accountable to and for
And
all of
there
that.
is where true leadership lies, dude.
Yeah. So it's like, even when I don't think anyone's there because no one was there, part of it, you said this already, part of it is the discipline of doing it anyway because it matters. Like, I
Yeah,
can't divorce discipline from this virtue because they're so
sure.
tightly coupled in my mind
Yeah,
anyway. But
100%.
yeah. So, what do you think people might misunderstand the most about accountability, especially in cultures that might confuse it with punishment, shame, or take a different, more punitive
Yeah,
lens? Like, especially Marines might take it that way, like, oh, accountability, blah.
yeah.
How do
Actually,
we
like
misunderstand it?
when I saw that question, I went to exactly those two words, punishment and shame. I think that people do see accountability as punishment and shame, like, because think we sometimes as an organization frame it that way. Like, you will be held accountable. Like, we
Mm,
don't, I know that as a young leader, I did not teach accountability the way we're talking about it right now. When I was a young, motivated sergeant,
we've all grown,
like,
baby.
accountability was a whole different thing back then, right? And
Unpack that. How would you paint the picture
well,
in
I
the
think
formative
that to
years?
me, maybe in my younger Marine Corps years, it wasn't a relationship. It was that black and white, like, you have to do this, like, grind. And I think there's value in the grind, right? There's
Yeah,
value in, like,
I
follow
agree.
these orders now, do this now. Like, I still appreciate that.
Well, it is
But
life or death in the day job that we
sure,
held. So there is a merit of that.
100%. Um, but there's other tools in the belt, and you don't always have to use that one tool. And young, motivated Sergeant Santimaw was like, I only used the hammer, and there's probably some other tools in there that I
Yeah.
could have, like, dusted off and brought out. And so, um, for me, I think I misunderstood accountability back then, right? And um, I think that a healthy accountability is like almost the opposite of that, like the shame and the punishment.
Mhm.
It's that relationship where you create like this safety where a young Marine can come up and be like, "Hey, First Sergeant, uh, what about this?" And I'd be like, "Oh, dog, that's my bad. I didn't realize I was doing that. I appreciate you having the courage, another amazing virtue, to come up and say that to me, because there's a lot of Marines who wouldn't come up to First Sergeant and be like, 'Hey, First Sergeant, I got to call you out on this thing,' right?"
Mhm.
Or even now, my students, I want them to be able to come up and be like, "Hey, you said we were going to do this. Are we still doing this?" Like,
Mhm.
or, "Hey, this is due. Like, are you working on that?" I
Mhm.
need that. Like, again, it's that relationship. It's not top down. Maybe that's another misunderstanding. Um, it's bottom up sometimes. And like, that's where we get better as leaders, because we don't do everything perfectly.
Right.
And sometimes we need that little young motivator to come up and be like, "Hey, this is what's going on." And then you just got to say, "Roger that, my bad." Like, accept it, own it, apologize, move on, like, be humble. I
Right.
think there's so much value in being humble when we're talking about accountability as well.
Oh, amen. Yes. I think humility is the beginning, acting, and ending posture. There is never a time where you get to take a rest from humility. I
Yeah.
firmly believe that it is undeniably woven into everything of a good leader, into every facet of a good leader. They are humble. And if they aren't humble,
Yeah.
they're not a good leader. I mean, it is that cut and dry to me. That is a black and white piece to me.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? It just kind of popped in my head, like when we're talking about being humble and all that. I think sometimes um, people feel as though some leaders aren't humble because they're like loud and motivated, right? And like
Mhm.
they like it gets misconstrued. And I feel like I've been like in that box sometimes too, where maybe I'm just like too into it or too fired up. And um, I think sometimes people are afraid. And that's something I think maybe like I've tried to do better at, is like showing that, hey, like, yeah, I'm motivated. Yeah, I want to get this done. Yeah, I want to be better than everyone around me.
Mhm.
But also I can still be humble at the same time. And I think that's something that also, since we're talking about things being misunderstood, I think that's something that can also be misunderstood. Like
Right.
my motivation and my like lethal desire to be better than everyone around me, like
Yeah.
makes me not humble. But I don't think that's the truth. I think someone telling me like, hey, you suck at this, like I'm humble enough to be like, I need that because I still want to be better. Like
Right.
I think those are another one that like go together.
Yeah. And you said love earlier, and I think that's so much equally with humility. Like it's all important. I know that sounds like, oh, when everything's important, nothing is. But when it comes to these virtues, there are certain virtues that are always important
Yeah.
and they're always
Hmm.
coupled together. And without the one, you can't really fully appreciate and relay the other. So with
Well,
accountability, like humility and love, like if you are holding someone accountable, which is a thing that you do, you to them, but also you can hold other people accountable in your life, and you should. That's the relationship aspect. But if there isn't love baked into all of that, it can come across very crass and harsh, and just it's missed. The target is missed because it's
but
truth without grace, and it's not. They don't
yeah.
feel what they should be feeling from it. In my mind,
But the reason I'm hard on you, the reason I dig into you, the reason I'm always there is because I love you.
right,
Like
right.
that is it. And I think sometimes not everybody is built in a way to receive that, right? Where they're just like,
Hmm.
this guy is on me. He's like riding me. It's just because like I see your potential. I
Right.
love you. I want you to reach that, right? And
Hmm.
so that's something too. I know I went off topic there, but I get fired up about this
No, but I
stuff.
think it resonates with me, especially as a dad of three girls, that if the majority of what you are known by is those difficult, sharpening conversations and moments, it's not going to land well with them. The
Mhm.
overwhelming moments that my daughters need to feel and hear from me are the moments where I'm not having to hold them accountable or make it a
Yeah.
life lesson moment. They need the moments where I just walk up, sit next to them, put my arm around, kiss them on the forehead, and say, "I love you so much." And there
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a purpose. Why, Dad? Say, because you're my daughter, and there's nothing you could do to take away the endless love that my heart has for you. When that is
Yeah.
what I just waterboard them with almost, man, which I try
Yeah.
to, they know they start learning again. It's caught before it's taught. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. Okay, so we got that out of the way. What is love? So, well, you show them because you can say I love you, but the actions that you marry to that word in your home is their perception and understanding of love. So we have such a real responsibility as parents or as leaders in someone's life to model what this virtue is. And so love, if I'm doing it
Mhm.
well in this accountability relationship, then when I have to have hard talks or they have to have hard talks with me, they know it's from love because that's
Yeah.
always the core and the epicenter. But if it's always just correction, correction, discipline, discipline,
Sure.
blah, all the other things that
Yeah.
matter. But if that's what the heart of it is, where do they find the love? They don't. And I think that's
Yeah.
where a lot of leadership, and for me in my heart, I'm constantly gut checked on it. Like, what is my starting posture with my family? It better be humility and love and the things that really, uh, they really give the context to the accountability piece. Maybe,
Yeah.
man, when I look at you and talk to you, I just hear so much of the undercurrents of what I know from you, and it's
It's
so beautiful,
it's
man.
so funny because I have this discussion with Lauren all the time. Like I joke around like nobody hates CJ more than CJ hates CJ. Um, like I always feel like I'm not doing enough. Like
Yeah,
for her, for Eloise, for Caleb, for Becca, and I share that with her all the time. I'm like, I just feel like I'm not doing enough, and like she tells me like you're doing like so much, and I'm like, yeah, but I could do more. Like, what else can I do? Like,
and
and
that's a
that's
beautiful
like,
heart to have. Yeah, I mean,
it's- yeah, I just gotta like one of these days I'm gonna believe her when she's like, you're doing great. You
and
know?
I think it's interesting because maybe people would expect good friends for me to be like, "Oh, buddy, you're great. You're doing great." And I would say, as a dear brother that loves you and holds you accountable, you probably need to just listen to your heart on that. Because I think
Yeah.
it's not that you aren't doing, but it's because your heart cares so much to always find new ways to grow and nurture that. And I think,
Mhm.
man, that just makes me think of you as a leader. It's so much like gardening. Like there is endless work until the
Mm.
harvest is reaped, right? Like there's always
Yeah.
work to be done. And if you let your fields and your crops just sit and you're like, I've done enough. I watered them yesterday. I'm good today. it's every day brings new opportunities for healthy work in a relationship.
Yeah.
So when you go like, I'm not doing it enough, I think that's just your internal system going like, I got to get back out and weed the flower bed again. I got to water the plants again. It's a daily discipline. It is. And
Yeah.
I think
Really is. Yeah.
that's the posture I know you like in our relationship. We've held each other accountable. That's literally how we met, was in a job that we'll get into that maybe.
Yeah.
But like, it was all about accountability for things to each
100%.
other. And it is endless. And I wouldn't say it's tireless or tiresome. I just think it's an endless focus of honorable work that we know matters because it's our life's call, is these relationships.
And it's funny, like something you just said made me realize like the dudes and dudettes that I still talk to and hang out with are the ones who have held me accountable, who have like made me better. And we've had those conversations. The people who were just like, oh, you're great, you're awesome, I love you, like let's hang out. Like I have a lot of time for that in my life, right? Like, you know, like let's make each other better. And I just think like when you said, I realized like all of the people that I hang with are the people who are willing to be like, hey dog, no. Like I need that.
Like Randy Jackson, hey dog, that's gonna be a no for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I have watched you lead in your home back when we were staff sergeants together when we first met. In those spaces, or even in others where you've led, where I've not seen it as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there a moment when accountability really clicked for someone that was under your charge? And what happened? And maybe what did you do that helped them shift from needing external accountability to sort of living it and embracing it at the core of who they were?
All right. So this is a good one. I'll try to get through it with no tears on this one. This is Caleb, my son. So Caleb, after I first retired, I took a couple years off. I was stay-at-home dad with Eloise. She started pre-K, and Caleb came home from school. He was in the high school, and he was already in JROTC. And he's like, Dad, the first sergeant left. They're looking for a new first sergeant at the school. Like my son recruited me, which is so weird. And he's like, and the coolest thing he said is, he said, I think you would be great at this job. And like, when does a teenager compliment their parents, right? And I was like, oh gosh, like
Caleb did.
I got to check his temperature. I think he's sick. Like, what is happening? And so like I applied for the job and got the job. And so I got to drive Caleb to school. I got to have him in class. He was on the teams that I was coaching. I got to spend all this time with it, which was so rad, right? And I got to see him develop over the years through all these different leadership roles. And then on his senior year, he was part of this thing we call the command team. It's like the 5 or 6 most senior cadets. And so he was in charge of a lot of stuff. And as happens in high school, there's drama, right? It's like, I always, whenever I hear the word drama, I think of you saying no dramas. Like I still like all the time, like there's always dramas. There's never no dramas. And so they were having this command team conflict. Like, been there, done that. Like, think about like how many times like you've experienced that in your time in the Marine Corps. And I think back to young CJ again, like young Corporal CJ, probably thought I knew everything, right? Like, probably thought everyone else was wrong. And I see some of that in these young kids, right? And it's not their fault. It's just their leadership is developing, right? They don't always know how to read each other and all of that. And so Caleb was kind of in that situation, and it was wearing on the team between those team members. And then that feeds into the battalion, right? Of kids. You know, we have anywhere we fluctuate between like 150, 170 kids. So there's a lot of ROTC kids. And so Caleb was going through this thing and he was venting to me about it. And I was like, dude, I got to talk to you as first sergeant right now, not as dad. And he's like, cool, give it to me. And I was like, I think you might be wrong here too. Like, I think you might be part of the problem. I appreciate your motivation and your confidence, but I think maybe you could evaluate the situation a little more. And before I decided to talk about this story, like when I was looking through like what we're going to talk about, I texted Caleb and I was like, hey, dude, I'm going to send you a screenshot of some stuff I want to share today. Are you cool with it? I was like, it's about you. And Caleb's like so fired up for this podcast. He was like, when's it released? I was like, Sunday. He's like, I'm doing it the second it comes down. And I was like, it was just like so cool. He was so excited. And um, it started this cool conversation today. And he was like, I'm cool with you sharing this. He's like, it just kind of undresses me a little bit.
Mm.
And I was like, I I love that. Like, I
Mm.
was like, let's talk about this now, dude. Like, here's the
What a
thing.
wise choice of words for
Andy,
just like the
dude, he's
vulnerability, man.
he's gonna
Oh,
be such a good little baby ensign. I'm so excited for him. Um,
me too.
he and I was like, dude, like good leaders are wrong sometimes. And good leaders admit they're wrong.
Mm.
And it was cool to see when he went through this whole situation, that he was like, you know what, like some of these people maybe that I'm involved with in this, like I don't need to surround myself with. So I saw that growth where he was like realizing like one, he held himself accountable and he owned his part. And then he was like, I can be a better leader when I surround myself with good leaders. And I told him today, I was like, dude, I've done so many things wrong. And he was like,
Mm.
no, dude, he's like, Dad, you crush it at everything. I was like, no, dude, I have the appearance of crushing it at everything. Like, I'm going to go on this podcast today with Josh, and we're both going to talk about all the things we've done wrong in life. And like, that's healthy. That's good leadership. Like,
Right.
it gets toxic when you have to always be right.
Mm.
And I just thought it was like this podcast helped me and Caleb have like another cool leadership conversation. And I thought that was just so rad, for Caleb to one, be willing to
Mhm.
let this be shared. And then two, to like still have these cool conversations about leadership. Like what, again, talking about things to be thankful for. What a rad opportunity I have had as a dad
Right.
to also be his first sergeant.
Yeah.
Like weird.
His
Like I'm gonna
senior
get to
enlisted
pin.
advisor. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to pin his ensign rank on someday. Like, what a cool
Oh
thing,
man.
right? And like to see that growth, like when I saw that question, I was like, oh man, like I remember the moment I saw where he was like, oh man, like this is important.
Hmm.
Like me being humble and admitting I was wrong is important.
Yes.
And I hope when he listens to this, he realizes like hearing it, like not just from dad, like hearing it from Josh, like it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
It's okay to say my bad. And I think that is one of the most important parts of accountability
I love
as a
that.
leader, especially in the
Oh,
military.
thanks for sharing that. And Caleb, thanks for giving permission for us to chat about this, man. I'm very proud of you. It's, first of all, well done. I don't know how you can have a talk about those sorts of things as a dad and not just sometimes break down, because I do all the time. I'm like, when I'm reflecting on things with my girls that are so meaningful to the heart of me as a father, dude, it brings me to tears immediately. I'm like tearing up now because my heart is such a heart of love for them.
Yeah.
It is. And when you have these moments where you go like, because there's constantly going to be voices and there's constantly going to be whispers and things that try to draw you off course, that try to be the voices of, oh, be accountable to me, be accountable to me, be accountable for me.
Yeah.
There's always the devil and the angel on the shoulder. And the devil on the shoulder sometimes feels like it has a louder voice. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to label that as, man, sometimes that devil on the shoulder is just screaming and trying to get your attention. And even in the space of doing things like a podcast where I know it's my purpose, I know it's what I should be doing. And it's really like the heart of how I can practically apply developing things, and leaving it for my children. And to hear that, I love the fact that you shared that moment with your son, and to be like, man, this platform gave me a cool opportunity to just talk with my boy again. If that is all this has ever done, and I don't believe it's been this dramatically useless, but if every other episode before now didn't matter, and if no other episode ever matters, if there was one moment where one person could have had a real connection with someone they loved, the entirety of it is worth it to me. And I mean that. It is that valuable when you
Yeah.
see
It
the
is.
relational
Yeah.
aspects. Like if it's just a CJ and Caleb connection out of the 35 off the hinges episodes, and that's all we draw from any of them ever, I am so glad I did all of them always. Like
Did even
that's it,
before we
dude.
came.
And Caleb, you need to hear that, man, because that's how much you and my girls and our families mean to your dad and me. Like that's everything to the heart of a father, man. That's it.
I think too, like I talk about like the accountability up and down.
Mm,
Before we came on, I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about today, and Becca was out there. Lauren was cooking dinner for them, and I was like, Becca, can you look this stuff over and tell me what you think? Like,
mm,
what am I missing? Like you know me better than anyone. Like, you're my oldest, like firstborn. Like, and she was like,
mm.
no, she read through it and she gave me advice, and like it was just so rad.
How
Like,
old is she now? How old are Caleb and Becca?
so Becca is 21,
Good
and
Lord.
Caleb will be 20 this summer. I'm so old,
No,
dude.
I don't believe you. You're lying to me. Lying's not
I
good. You
know,
shouldn't
right?
lie. You're ridiculous. You're a lying man.
They're old, dude.
Good for them. Love you guys, man. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Oh, so I would say like reflecting on this together and thinking back on what we've talked on. If you're gonna walk away from this and just say, "Man, I wish Josh or someone would have asked me this," related to accountability, what is that question and how would you respond? Or if it's not a question, like what is the one thing that if you like fast forward and you're like, "Oh, I wish I could get that back and like impress this." What's the thumbprint that you would want to leave with people when they're thinking about this virtue?
Yeah. I think the question that I think is valuable is, how do you hold yourself accountable when you blow it as a leader?
Mm,
Because it's bound to happen, right? Like, and like I promised Caleb we were going to talk about this. He thinks that we're all perfect, right? Like, but we're not. Like, I feel like that has also evolved for me, as I imagine it has for you, right? Like,
hmm
I think that for me now, it's that taking a step back for a second, not having a knee jerk reaction. Like, there's a time, right? Like, where you got to make a decision now and like hope it was the
hmm
right decision.
Right.
But I would argue most of the time it's not that, right? But we're almost like programmed through muscle memory to make a decision now, right? And so for me, as a leader, when I blow it, I want to take a second to think and take a breath
Right.
and also say, hey, how did this affect you? Right? What did you expect out of me that you didn't get? And like, how would you have wanted me to deal with it? That bottom up, like I want to hear what they have to say because, like, like that's the pulse. That's where like
Mm,
it matters, right? Like my bad decision mostly doesn't affect me. It
mm,
affects them, right? And it took me a long time to realize that their opinion matters when it comes to that kind of stuff.
mm.
So I guess
Man,
that's
so
the
good.
leader side. Yeah. What about you? I'm actually curious on your answer on that one, Josh. Like, what, how do you hold yourself accountable?
That's a very good question. I think it's all the landscape and the prep work of how I cultivate a relationship. Probably, it's interesting, man, like the internal meaning making of relationships that we all have and how we view things. And I think my mind lives in a world of analogies and fairy tales and stories that sort of try to paint a vivid picture of. I have a lot of head movies. Let's just put it that way to go. Tropic
Rainbows
Thunder.
and unicorns.
Yeah, yeah. Tropic Thunder style. I play a lot of head movies to like try and vision, but it's helpful because it's however your mind creatively tries to make sense, to sense and make sense of who you are and where you fit in this world with the other people you've been placed in it with, or they've been slammed into your life with you, or however it is. I think drawing pictures and analogies is really helpful for me. And I just view gardening as like a really good analogy for leadership. So it's, am I cultivating the soil so that these things can grow? And I view accountability, um, not through a negative sense, but if I really want this seed to, man, we could go on and on. But first of all, like seeds before they germinate and grow, some seeds got to die before they grow, right? So there's some things that when you plant them and you cultivate them, there's certain things that got to be stripped away. The prep work is ripping out unhealthy things. They're going to block the full growth and development of that plant. So you're trying to root out all the stuff that's not good. You're trying to keep a healthy environment, which is such a balance of so many things from the sun to the water to the it's just seemingly endless. Like tending to a
Can't
crop
grow
is
every
like
seed.
tending to a crop. Um, and trying to grow up a healthy plant is like it's the perfect image in my mind of trying to raise a child or trying to raise kids in high school because I realize my time with that process is limited and that time for a seed is continuous. So when you're constantly saying, what can I do? It's because if you don't tend to that seed, it actually dies. So that
Mhm.
plant can die before it's even blossomed. And it's actually your job as a leader to grow it. That is the accountability to that thing.
Yeah.
That plant doesn't owe you anything as the gardener. And if you want the fruit of that life to be tasted and reaped and enjoyed by humanity, it is all on you. It is all to them and for them, and it's on your shoulders. That's a weight you have to wear proudly. And I view that like the accountability is like when I do something wrong, I've got to go back and like graft that branch a little bit. If I damaged and chipped off, maybe they are grown. Maybe they get older. Maybe their own like strong oak tree. Maybe I snap off a branch and it was a branch that we needed. Now they can't offer shade to other people because I damaged them there. Right. So it's just endless. The relationship is
Yeah.
just like caring for a plant that you really want to enjoy life with. Um, and I think that's the way I view it, man. It's like I mess up so much. And I have to make a space where they know, oh, my whole life has been caring for you, trying to grow you and nurture you. I'm so sorry I damaged part of you.
Yeah.
That was never my intent, but I'm just clunky and awkward. Can you forgive me? And tell me what I did. Tell me how I can fix this. Like, give me the manual on how I can make you better, or at least try to mend this damage that I've done. And in that space, when I get the honest answer, hopefully I've made an environment where they will be honest. And when my daughters do that, I do my best to just tell them thank you. And if it's not something that I immediately need to fix, because rarely it is,
Yeah.
I'll just say thank you. I need to sit with that and think of how we can do this better going forward and how I can be better for you. So don't have a clap back. Don't have an excuse. Just when they give you the answer, just filling that space with love and gratitude that they even shared it. Saying, man, I couldn't be better without your perspective. Thanks so much. Or if it was something that you actually did that harm them, the only words you better say is asking their forgiveness and saying like,
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
It's
Will
okay
you,
to say I'm sorry.
yeah, will you please forgive me? I was so wrong and name the thing. Because again, for my girls, I'm modeling how I want them to engage with other people as they grow up. I want them to
Sure.
apologize, name the thing they did, be accountable for their actions to other people. That's accountability to
Yeah.
me. And if they
Yeah.
only
And the
catch
thing
that by
is,
seeing it, man, they have to see that. So
yeah.
that's the way I view it. Thanks for asking, but
I,
that's the heart of me, man.
yeah. I feel like you don't get to that point though without treating those people like humans and talking to them and getting to know them. Like
Yeah.
if you don't know what seeds you're planting, you don't know how to tend to them.
Oh
I'll
man,
jump on your analogy, right?
it's
And
true.
so like if I don't spend the time to talk to you and get to know you and know what you need, I think about that when I go to school. Every kid at school I talk to differently
Mm-hmm.
because they're all a different plant, right? Like, and they need something different. Some need more sun, some need more water. I'm going to run with your analogy, right? And I think that the good leaders spend the time to figure that out.
And this is
And you
all scientific
can't.
facts, by the way. We're
It is
totally
very,
spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that you'll never make it to that accountability relationship and like have that love where you respect each other enough to have that honest conversation if you don't do that.
Yeah. It was really cute, man. Since you shared something about your son, like when I got home from Hamar and I landed flew in from Oslo, it's an easy flight, like less than a 50-minute flight or something.
Mm.
And the girls picked me up, Laura. They were so excited. And I think I have learned that the times where I'm exhausted and drained and I'm not feeling it, and this is just honest, like I love my girls so much, but their overexcitement to see me coupled with my complete
Yeah.
exhaustion, it was unsettling and a little bit annoying. And that sounds heartless, but I think any parent can appreciate
No,
that space where like
it's a
I I
hard thing to navigate.
I wanted nothing more than to see them. And as soon as I saw them, I wanted nothing more than for all of them to not be talking over each other to me. But I go like, hey man, this isn't about you. But to them, it is about you. Like, it's not about you individually to yourself, but like to them, they have their daddy back and they're so excited. Don't be a punk. Like, sit there with it. It's uncomfortable. It's not what you want, but they're everything. They're what you've been waiting to come home to. So be present. And Aria, I was unpacking my bags and she came in and she goes, Dad, can I talk to you? And she was a mile a minute, man. She was so excited. She could barely like catch her breath. She was telling me all about her week. And she goes, and I was trying my best as I was unpacking to stop and look at her, but I wasn't distracted. I was like unpacking stuff. And then she goes, oh, because I hadn't responded for a couple iterations when she caught her breath. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? Am I talking too much? I can leave the room. And that sort of broke my heart. And even though she didn't know how to say it, I took that as a corrective thing that she said to me.
Relationship. You created an environment where she feels okay, though, to say that to you.
She said, oh, I'm. And what she said as an apology, I heard is a gut check for myself. And I just put my stuff down. I said, baby, come here. And I gave her a hug. And she wasn't even sad. She was just being honest, like, oh, do you need me to leave? And I said, I never want you to leave. I said, what you say to me matters so much more than anything. I said, I'm so sorry that I might seem distracted. I said, I am a little bit, actually. I said, but stay in here with me. Please don't leave me. I said, I'm almost done unpacking. But let's just sit for a second. And so before I got back to unpacking, I said, tell me about your day today at school. So I was like, hey, man, you need to just put everything else down because right in this moment, this girl's going, I asked Dad, do I matter? Is basically what I heard. That's the way I heard it. And I was like, I can make it or break it right now. And I was like, and dude, like that chokes me up because I'm like, some people, what they hear is like a self-centered, oh, you're all about yourself. Like with a little child and a little soul, it's like, it's almost this little cry for like, hey, do you see me? Do you see me over here? And I was gut checked. And I said, I'm so sorry that you thought, and there I go. There I shed the first tear, not you. But like when I came back, man, it really hit me that like, I'm totally accountable to this relationship. And I think the fleeting moments that we have in those moments, every life stage is just a stage. You can't miss it. And the next stage, it might be more difficult, but if I miss giving her the nurture that she needs here, she can't grow into who she's supposed to be. And that's my job. So I was like, I sat with her and then it was very precious. It was sweet and it was good. But like, man, those moments hit me like a ton of bricks. And I think they're supposed to. And I think an in-tune father or leader doesn't miss them.
No, and I think that any person listening right now that has kids is shaking their head up and down like they understand exactly that. We've all been in that exact position, right? Like when life is lifing and the kids need you and you're just trying to survive it, right? And then it's just
y'all see me, gets me going now. It's like if you're watching this and you're like, oh, you're watching, it's my girls every time.
You feel it in your gut when you do something wrong and like the sadness takes over, right? And then you're just like, oh gosh, you know, like,
and I think, and I think it's interesting too, man. We're going to keep going because it's just, this is really good. And I think it's healthy, Caleb, even if this is for you and you tuck this away for your leadership toolbox. As a leader, it's not always about subjectively from the outside or even objectively. Did you do anything wrong? As a leader, if you know to do something right and you don't do it, and it's the right thing you should do, it's not someone else's version of right. If you have been given a task to do and you have not followed it through to completion with your whole heart, you are wrong. So it's not it's sort of like the old cliche, like sins of commission and of omission. If you have omitted to do a thing that you should have done, you are just as wrong. And I would argue maybe even in my mind, that's even more wrong because you failed to do good. You didn't enter like wickedness into the world. You failed to bring your light. And that's that is the thing I felt with that little encounter with Arya today. I wasn't doing anything evil or wrong or bad. I was just unpacking my bags, but I had missed a chance to really press into a good thing. And I'm so thankful that I will say I'm proud of myself that I'm in tune with my daughters and my heart is one of love enough that it quickly sharpens me. And it quickly holds me accountable when I realize and I love that she is verbal enough to share in her own way of like, do you need me to leave? Was just, as a grown adult, that would have sounded a lot harsher, but the heart is just like, does this matter to you right now?
Yeah.
In a loving way, does this matter? And I was like, ooh, gotcha. Yeah,
That cuts deep, right?
It really does. But it
In
matters.
a good way, though, because we need that.
It does.
That's
and again, it's back to that humility space, right? You were like, you better be humble if you want to be accountable to other people and for your actions. Got to be a humble leader. You got to be receptive, ears open, mouth shut, just like, what's going on? And that's you got to listen to that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
There's a cool thing I want you to unpack, because you'll probably know where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I said I was going to put a pin in it and come back to it. So right. I remember very distinctly in your great little house there in San Diego area when Laura and I came over and we did a backyard barbecue one time. And I walked by your fridge and you had something on your fridge. And this, maybe you don't think it relates to accountability, but this is like one of the first things I thought of with you, in the way you've set these parameters and sort of guidelines and rules up to help your kids learn how to be accountable for healthy choices and actions. So it's going to go less philosophical and maybe more physical and healthy. But I remember walking by your fridge and there were like rules that you had put up on your fridge for like how you navigated when they needed to ask your permission for certain types of foods and when they could help themselves to whatever. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So like where did you get that from? Like, explain to the people what I'm talking about.
That's a Lauren thing.
Well, that's okay. A marriage is one. So like, but I mean, y'all are both together. So how did that come to be? Yeah. It was so cool.
I think that's like a Lauren thing from growing up too, with like having some guidelines and those kinds of things. I will say 1,000,000 times that Lauren makes me better. She makes our family better. She is the secret sauce.
I won't disagree with you. It's what a marriage is for, man.
Sauce to all of it.
Yeah.
And I am a much better father because of her.
Yeah.
And like how I parent. And a lot of it is like, obviously there's a bunch of time between Becca and Caleb and Eloise, right? And so there was a lot of time to reflect as a parent and those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that I got to give credit to Lauren on that one, where like what we want to do is give them space.
Tell the people what it is so they have context. I think I didn't define what it is. So like tell them what the intent was and what the actual like sort of
so the intent was like, so it's just like, hey, these are the things you can have on your own. These are the things that you have to ask for. Right. Because we want them to have space to be individuals and be who they are. Mm-hmm. Like what we don't want to do is make our kids who we think our kids should be. I think we can model what we think a good human is, but ultimately I want Eloise to be Eloise. I want Becca to be Becca. You know, I want Caleb to be Caleb.
Get out your kids' way.
What's that?
I said, get out your kids' way is what he's telling you.
Yeah, basically, right? And so like the more ways we can let them be who they are with just some bumpers, like I want to do that. Like I want them to be independent. I want them, like, as much as I want them to need me, I also want them to not need me, you know? And I think that was just a very simple way when Becca and Caleb were younger to allow them to do that.
Yeah, it was cool because I remember walking by the fridge and I was like, oh, what's this? And there was like pictures and it was fun. But I think thoughtful parenting is just that. It shows the creativity and it shows like the care that's put into the smallest things. So it's like, hey, if it's a fruit or a vegetable with pictures of it, if it looks like this, you don't need to ever ask me. If you're hungry and you want to eat one of these things, fine. But if it's like this type of food or like a snack or this, like maybe too much carbs or whatever, then those, and same thing with drinks. Like, hey, if you want to get water, you never need to ask. But if you're like, hey, can I have like a sugary drink or whatever, that if that's even something you have in your house, right? So like it puts some parameters on. And again, like I know you and your wife and you guys are so thoughtful and intentional with things that I look at that. I'm like, ooh, they are raising very good decision makers and they are teaching the value and the consequences of choices. And I think when it comes to accountability, that's just what came into my mind because like they're teaching them to be accountable to other people for everything they choose to do. And life is a choice. And I was just like we brought that on board in our house, man. We did, like with the girls. It's because sometimes they'll default, and it's sometimes it frustrates me. I don't show it, but they'll default to asking permission to even have fruits or vegetables. I'm like, guys, what's the rule? We don't have to. I said, okay, then please stop asking me.
Yeah.
Or if they ask me the simplest thing that they already know the answer to, I said, if I wasn't here right now to tell you what to do, what would you do? And they'll start, I said, no, I'm sorry. I don't want you to tell me. I just want you to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you for choosing it. And when you give that freedom of like choice, when you know it's a healthy environment and they aren't going to hurt themselves or make a bad one that's damaging to them, like let them be clunky with it. Like how else are they going to
Yeah,
grow?
and who doesn't want a confident child,
Oh my
right?
gosh,
Like,
man.
I want them to be able to make a decision on their own and not have to
Mhm.
rely on me. I want them to know that, like, when mom and dad aren't around, you are well equipped to make a good decision and bring good into the world, right? Like,
Yes.
that's what all of that is. Like, it seems so simple, but it just takes time and reps, right? Like,
Yeah,
eventually they get it, right? And
they do,
sometimes the road there is bumpy, but we
man.
get
And
there.
I think it's beautiful to hear too with you just knowing how your relationship with Becca and Caleb at 21, 20, whatever their ages are now. To me, that's the hallmark of some accomplishment as a parent. And I want to say, like, man, well done. I'm proud of you. I know that I'm sure you're like, oh, there's
I
still ways I
appreciate
could
that.
grow. But like to look at children that are that age that still look over your notes and are at home with you to have a meal and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this is good, Dad. Or that text you and go like, to see that connection and that tightness that isn't forced, that's just natural. That is a little bit of going like, ooh, now you're tasting some of the fruit of the seeds you sowed a long time ago and nurtured.
I also think that, like, I'm lucky and have great kids. Like, and I hope they hear that, you know? And
Yeah,
I'm gonna it's gonna get me.
it's all right,
Um,
man. It's what
I knew
matters,
you'd get
dude.
me eventually.
Gotcha.
I'm just
I don't want to talk to you anymore. I was just keeping you online until you joined me in
you're
the
building it
crowd.
up. I'm just very lucky. I love them, and I'm just like so lucky to have them.
Yeah, man. It's good to sit in these moments because I think, let's be real, I think the heart of a father, not that you have to go through the things we've shared together and seen together, but for me, I will just speak to me without like trying to project it into your framework and world. The amount of times that I have been exposed to life's brevity and the sense of urgency of how little time I might have to actually leave a thumbprint of my DNA on their lives for goodness. I appreciate that nothing's guaranteed because we've seen that. And I
Yeah,
think the lives that we've led in the Marine Corps through a lot of like just the nastiest side of humanity, when you see that side of it, it makes you cling so tightly to the goodness of it. And the goodness of it is our children. That is the heritage that no one else can give. There's so many jobs other people can take and should take and could take over from me. But no one else will biologically be able to claim that they are the father of Aria, Alessia, and Karina Murano. It's biologically
it's
impossible.
true.
I'm their dad. And with that responsibility, um, it is responsibility. That's almost synonymous with accountability in that sense. It's only on me to be their dad. And it's everything for me. And it does come with that weight that brings you to tears. And that emotion is so important because it's so real, because it matters
It's,
so damn much.
and I think like, and you like kind of touched on it, is like the loss we experience, like the friends that I don't have here now.
Mm.
It makes me want to be better. Like
Yes.
I owe that to those dudes also that can't
Yeah.
have families. You know, like
Yes.
I'm like trying harder to be a good dad because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
matters.
It does. And it is like that accountability, even though that friend of ours may have died and been gone, that accountability and that tightness never dies. That
Right.
accountability to that relationship that meant so much because it's a part of you. It's
Still
always
going.
a part of you. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of like living in honor of people. It's a living memorial to those things that mattered most. Um, and I think it's so healthy to appreciate that and to hold that space. And you don't have to have served in uniform. You don't have to have even lost people. It's just the things that are in life. I think that there's a lot of health and merit in taking a moment to memorialize, whether it's a loss or a beautiful moment. And I'll flip that on its head and say the moments where my daughters do the things like what Arya did tonight, where it's good things, like
Hmm.
whether you journal it, mark it, I don't know, I don't care or know how you do it, but like find a way that makes sense to you, but find a way to memorialize and celebrate the good milestones in life also, because man, like a simple thank you, right? Like as a
Yeah.
father, when they make a good choice, they can't hear I love you and they can't hear thank you enough as a child. And I think that's so important for them to hear because you are their little leader in their world. You're the leader of the
Yeah.
home. They love you. I promise, like a kid loves you if you're taking care of them because they want to be fed. They want their butts to be wiped if they can't do it. Like all those things that you're caring for their necessities is truly love. So in that moment, let them hear the modeling of, I love you. Thank you for what you did. I'm so proud of you. You don't have to do a thing. You could never disappoint me. I love you so much. When they hear these things from your heart, that is teaching them how to lead and how to live in the
It
world
is.
around them. And it's
I
so
think
beautiful, man.
letting them fail is so important. And then letting them know that's okay and
Mm-hmm.
supporting them through it and just guiding them into like problem solving that, I think has so much value. I see um, other, and I'm never going to try to parent someone else's kids. Like everyone has to parent how they parent, but I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
it breaks my heart sometimes when I see kids who do stuff wrong and the parents get on them like in a way where there's no teaching. It's like it's that what we talked about with like bad accountability where it's just like shame.
Right.
And I just think like and I watch how you parent too, like I think parenting through growth and like having that safe place for them to fail, like I think is so important.
Man, it's so good. But as we get ready to wind this down, I've got to give my shout out that I give every time because it's so important. Because much like we've already said, that's the heart of who we are and what we do. Then I'll turn it over to you for any last words or comments. But for Laura and Arya and Alessia and Karina, I love you all so much. And of course, well, let's go there for Lauren and Becca and Caleb and Eloise. I love you all too. Like this is such a beautiful space to share with your husband, your dad, whatever that relationship is. But for my family, like this is everything for you all. And there's some people, well, everyone I talk to is meaningful and I love them, but there's some people that are just a different level of special. And that's what your Uncle CJ is to me. Um, it's that's sort of like the term of endearment that we refer to people that aren't really family, but when they're family, it's like
Yeah,
Uncle or Aunt CJ.
we
All
do
right, so
that
Uncle
too.
CJ and Aunt Lauren, man, it's like that's the way of tipping the hat of like y'all are fam, and we love you guys, and I love you so much. And as your dad, this is just a cool opportunity to just share how I am accountable to you, and I'm so thankful for these moments and these stories that you bring these episodes to life because I get to do life with you, and all of my actions, I'm accountable to you for them and it's just a place of love. And I'm so thankful that I get to share this with such an amazing man who I love and respect so much. All the little choices about you gotta ask permission before you have candy. Blame Uncle CJ. It's on him and Lauren. Well, blame Lauren
My
apparently.
bad, guys.
Blame Aunt
My
Lauren.
bad.
But man, I'm so glad you're here today. Over to you for any last comments before we dial it off for
Yeah,
the
I don't
day.
think I can close it out better than you did. I just really appreciate this opportunity. This was so rad, and I hope we get to do it again. Let's get the three-way, four-way in there. And I want to,
Brandon, John, here we go. We about to, yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
I just thanks for giving me a safe place to share some of these stories and like be
mm,
open. And also, like, I also appreciate that you've always been a great place for me to be emotionally like honest and vulnerable and like and vice versa. Like I'm glad that we're still here for each other. And that like you're one of the people that I keep fighting for every day too.
I love that, man. And I'm going to talk to young men just for a second because I think I'm a man. That's who I am. That's what we do. That's how I was born. And I need to talk to young men just for a second. Like, I hope you see that there are two guys that like we were staff non-commissioned officers together. And we actually, and I think intentionally, because I know CJ very well, we didn't land the plane on the runway of like Marine Corps things because I think the heart of what I want to leave my child, although they know my job, is like who I am as a husband and a father, first and foremost, and as a
Yeah.
friend. The Marine Corps is an occupation. And it is, we said at the beginning, you can't You actually can't match the culture and the bond that's there. But the bond goes so much deeper than just an occupation. So we didn't want to leave it with that and make it a Marine Corps sense. But we were senior enlisted together. And there was a lot of shared experiences that other people might not ever understand or appreciate. That's just a fact. But all of those things has made us who we are today. And we really want the heart of these men, like U.S. Marines, I would say physically, mentally, spiritually, incredibly tough and resilient strength that could be modeled in this brotherhood and this relationship and the jobs we've held and the places we've been and the things we've seen. And through all of that, for a very subjectively strong pairing of people, you see two guys that are happy to get on the camera and shed some tears when they're talking about how much their family means to them. And the strongest things in life are rooted the deepest in love. And that is the thing that this resonates with me from this episode, man. Accountability is two other people and the love that you bring into that relationship. Accountability is a relationship. This man you're listening to today, my guest, my brother that I love so much, it's his words, and I couldn't have said it better. It's a relationship, and it matters more than anything. So I know we're asking you to listen to this conversation, but when you're done, do what I'm going to do today. At the end of today's workday, I take a 24-hour technology break. I power down the phone. I put it in the drawer. I let the girls watch me do it. Sometimes I let them power it down for me. They literally almost cheer every time. And it's not even that I'm on it that much. They're just like, oh, you're showing us that nothing else can get in the way of us right now.
They get 100% of dad right now.
Whatever you be accountable to those relationships by stripping the things away that don't matter and dialing down the noise and tuning in to the hearts that you are accountable to. I think you'll be really glad that you did it, man. And brother, I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here today.
Thanks for having me on.
We do need to do this again. This is just too good.
Yeah.
And also, you need to come to Norway, but that's for another talk. That's for another
We're planning it. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's happening.
Well, hey, to all of you, thanks for joining. We hope you have a great weekend. Stay tuned because on Monday, Fred and I are taking it back to good. We'd love to hear how you hold yourself accountable, how you explore this. Let us know if you ever need a friend or if you just isolation can be a damn drudgery. So like, if you need a friend, if you need a set of ears, reach out to me and CJ. We're here for you. Even if we don't know you, we'd love to get to know you. And have a great weekend, man. I love you so much. Cheers.
I love you too. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Off the Hinges. Don't forget to follow Foundational Coaching on your favorite social media platforms. Kick off your Saturday with me tomorrow morning at Coffee and Reflections on Substack, where I'll share my reflections and stories on the weekly virtue. I'm honored to be a part of your story today, and I'm proud of your growth, my friend. I can't wait for our next time together, exploring the vault.